Hey everyone, and welcome back to this week's episode of Whizbit's Random Gaming. And today we're heading back to where it all began, from what I'm aware of anyway, the very first CEX at Rathbone Place. Now, before we get into the video, I'd just like to take 1 minute of your time to let you know about memberships that we currently offer on the channel. They start from as little as 99 pence a month. If you do choose to take such a membership, you will get exclusive perks such as early access to the Random Retro podcast and upcoming episodes of Unfinished Business. Now, of course, you don't have to do so. We will continue to keep the content coming because we enjoy doing so, but it's just a way of showing support. We also have a Facebook group over at, obviously, Facebook, if you'd like to come on over there. It's a safe space for anyone to come on over, talk about retro games, modern games, pop culture in general. So please, I'll leave a link to both of what I've just mentioned in the video description below. And I'd love to see you on over at Facebook and hopefully over on the membership page. So without further ado, let's go and check out the very first CEX. It's Rathbone Place. Let's see what it's saying in 2025. Right, welcome back to the channel, guys, and today I'm heading down to where it all began in terms of CEX anyway. We are at Rathbone Place. So let's check out the window. We always want to see what goods are in stock. And is that it? That is it. Literally all the gaming related stuff we have in the window here. Not a great start. Now, I have been to this shop many times. I work in and around this area, so it's no real surprise to let you know the gaming stuff doesn't really get flaunted too much in the main window unless they've got a high value item for sale. Now, I did like the look of that copy of Vertigo there. I don't know what kind of game it is, but if it's in a bit of cardboard, it gets my attention straight away. I have to admit that. Now, one thing I will say about this particular branch, and it's no different from any other CEX really, is that they've always got a really good selection of PlayStation 4 stuff. It's what you're met with as you enter the shop, and straight away you're looking around to see if you can add anything to your PS4 collection. Now, this was the original CEX from all accounts. I've spoken to many people and they've told me that it definitely was. And I do remember coming back down here in the 90s. It was very much import focused and a little bit snobbish at times. If you went downstairs and you were not up to date on what was going on in the world of gaming, there would be people frowning upon you. I definitely noticed this in a few of my visits here as a young man. Now, I didn't really mind it too much because I read some of the magazines and I knew what was going on, so I kind of escaped ridicule. Now, that Guilty Gear there, I don't have that in the collection, but want to see if there's anything else here that I want to pick up today before potentially picking that one up. Guilty Gear games are not necessarily high on my list, and neither is anything to do with Inspector Gadget, especially at £25. Now, Mortal Kombat X, and this one is obviously XL with all the DLC on it. That was truly the last Mortal Kombat game that I really enjoyed. I really enjoyed the DLC as well. I found playing with Jason Voorhees was an absolute blast. I had a great time using him as a character. Now here's a game I really want to get hold of, Nightmare Boy on the PS4. But to be honest, I want to pick this one up on the Switch, so I'm going to hold back today and not pick up the PS4 version. There we see Ratchet & Clank on the PlayStation 4, so I'm slowly starting to build up the full set of the Ratchet & Clank games. Hopefully I'll find a couple of things in here today to get the progress going. Right, the moment you've all been waiting for, the retro cabinet. And look at this thing. I saw one of these the other week and they're just disgusting. My friend James said it looks like some sort of bastardized Jaguar controller, and you know what, he's not far wrong. Now I do like the look of these charging grips for the Switch 2. I don't really know if I need something like that, but they really are a handy option depending on where you are and how often you use your secondary controller, I would say. Now, plenty of consoles as usual. We've got the disc drive for the PlayStation 5 as well. So we've got a couple of decent-ish bits here. But again, I'm harking back to what this shop used to be back in the day. This was like the hub of CEX, and it's kind of turned itself into a bit of a sorry state when you compare it to previous times. Now, whilst there's a couple of decent retro bits here, as you can see, great game there in Fantasy Zone. We've got a nice Game Boy Color box as well, some Sega Saturn games, and that mini Sega Astro City at £90. I recently picked my one up from Limited Run for around about £60 posted. So yeah, what you see on the screen here, this couple of Dreamcast games, PlayStation 1 games, the odd loose cart for the 64, that's it. That's all this shop has got to offer at this stage. And it's not great, to be honest with you. It's quite disappointing. But before I start laying into the shop and complaining about what it is and how it's ended up this way, I think we've got to take a look into how the entire city of London is in terms of, say, the West End. I remember coming down the West End in the 90s and it was the place for technology. Online has pretty much changed all of that. And I'm guessing that the CEX that we're in today in Rathbone Place, it's just become another victim of online technology. The electrical shops down in Tottenham Court Road had all of the most fancy brand new items back in the day, but that's not the case anymore. Online is the place to shop for all that sort of stuff, and those kind of shops kind of have died out. They've survived by becoming sort of phone repair shops and mobile repair shops and laptops and stuff like that. And while CEX doesn't have that option, it's definitely had to lean more so in towards the electrical aspect, such as phones, etc, etc. Now, of course, they've got some pretty decent games in here. I'm not going to complain. If you want to pick up some games, you're definitely not going to do too bad here, especially if, like me, it's quite local to where you work. It's a nice little outlet to have 15 minutes away from the office, and we can always get down there to check out and see what's going on. Now, I've mentioned it before, I do like digging around the Wii section to see if you can find a few hidden gems. And here is one, Punch-Out on the Wii. It's a brilliant adaptation of Punch-Out, and I highly recommend anyone picking that one up. Now, I wasn't going to pick it up today, I've owned it for some time, and I always enjoy going back to that game. So as I said, I'm looking out for some Ratchet and Clank goodness. I've decided to go for the full subset, And I'm pretty early into it. I've only got about 4, maybe 5 titles. So always looking to see what we can find to start building up that collection. I'm not going to go for any of the games that on systems that I don't collect for, like the PSP and Vita, anything like that. So it's going to be the PS2, PS3, PS4, PS5, and those kind of systems. Now straight away, look at that. Here is one, and I don't see this one too often. I'm not necessarily looking out for Ratchet and Clank stuff, so maybe I have. It's only now that I've started collecting it that one has caught my eye. Ratchet and Clank Gladiator. Now another full set that we're going for is the Wii U, and disappointing isn't the word here today. Now whilst it does have probably more games than some outlets, nothing here was worth picking up today. Now the OG Xbox, there was a ton of these games here not too long ago. Me and my friend Roy was talking about it, and 99% of them were all cover reprints. And it seems the same way today. It looks like they've sold a fair few though, which is interesting, as I was always under the impression that collectors may not buy these things. Now, as I said, there's a Ratchet and Clank game there. I'm not going to be collecting for the PSP. Now, heading over to the 360. I haven't been buying too much on the 360 lately. It's getting very difficult to find things that I want to pick up. Not just something for the collection. I want to buy games now, more so than ever, that I want to take time out to play. So, interesting to see if they've got anything here today. Now here's a game I'm not familiar with, Raven Squad at £4. Is it worth taking the risk? Oh, I don't know. Let's see what else I find today before I decide to take a risk on a game like that. The 360 and PlayStation 3 era were renowned for loads of games that were similar to what that one looked like, so I don't think I'm missing out. Stranglehold there, brilliant game at £2. And how crazy is it that such a game like that is £2, and what we saw up there, the Sonic game, is £18, and that's absolute trash. Now here's one I recently left behind, I think when I was in Lakeside, that triple pack. I'm going to consider that one today because it's not something you see too often, and I actually went home thinking about picking that one up. It's got Trials on it, Limbo, and I think it's Explosion Man, and I think that one was an exclusive Xbox Live Arcade game, so I think that might be the only way you can own this physically. Right, so let's go back upstairs and check out the Nintendo Switch section. Nothing really here that caught my eye. A lot of games that I've already got, or ones that I just really have a very little interest in. Metal Slug Tactics is one of those. I do love a Metal Slug game, but I never asked for something like that. It's a really strange decision to release such a game associated with that franchise. Now, I don't own a 3DS, but if I did, I would have been picking up that Shinobi game most definitely today. Huge Shinobi fan, and if you haven't seen my video of myself playing through the demo of the new Shinobi game, Art of Vengeance, please take the time to check out my other videos. It's a brilliant game, and I hope you all enjoy the video and pick it up once it's released. Now, there is a PlayStation 5 game that I'm hoping is here today because it's dropped down to a price I've seen on the app that I think is the price to go for. It's a game I've been looking to buy, but I was always a bit like, too much at the moment. And it's dropped down to £15, so I'm hoping it's here today. We've got Madison here on the PlayStation 5. If you love your horror games, brilliant game. Do not hesitate to pick that one up. Definitely has got some special moments in that game. And there we go. As you know, I told you, I'm going for the Ratchet & Clank full set. And this one, A Rift Apart, is now down to £15. I'm really happy to pay that. So yeah, if this one is in good nick, I'll check the cover out a little bit more once I'm at the counter. That's going to be coming home with me today. Now, there's a ton of Ratchet & Clank games on the PlayStation 3, so I have to go through here quite thoroughly before I leave today. And quite surprisingly, there's not one Ratchet & Clank game for the PS3 that I can see here today. Anyway, let's get into what I picked up today. I picked up that Xbox 360 triple pack. Like I said, I've only ever seen this maybe once or twice in other shops before. And the last time I saw it, I was in Lakeside, and I do regret not picking it up. So with vouchers on me today and a little bit of birthday cash, yep, 21 again, I thought I'd definitely pick this one up today alongside a couple of other games. I remember playing Limbo. I've got it digitally on the Switch. I've played Trials and Explosion Man, or whatever it may be called. Correct me in the comments. I do remember having a demo of that on the 360. I've never played the full game. I'm going to go home and play this one, and that will be the first game that I check out. So yeah, this one was a really nice copy of Ratchet & Clank, A Rift Apart. So definitely had to pick this one up. Great price at £15. I played the demo of it when it came out. I remember on the PlayStation 5, they gave you a playable demo. I thought it was a really, really fun time, but one that I never really invested that much time into. Someone was talking to me about this game not too long ago and said it was like playing a Disney Pixar game. And yeah, I can vouch for that. I know exactly where they're coming from. So yeah, definitely might jump into this one or the PS4 version of Ratchet & Clank to start my journey gameplay wise with this subset. And yeah, we had to pick this one up. It had the manual, it was complete. Ratchet Gladiator. I don't really know much about this one, only that I really need to pick it up for the collection. Again, it's not something I see often, if ever, so had to take the opportunity today to pick this one up. It's a really good price at £8, and I now feel that my subset collection for Ratchet & Clank is making great strides. Probably around about 7-8 games now. I know there's a ton of them, but it just gives me that little bit more of an impetus to go out and keep looking for the full set. Now, me and a few other YouTubers, I won't mention any names, we've got a trip all booked up for Cardiff gaming market. I'm hoping to find a load of these games there. Gives me something to search for if I don't find any heavy hitters that I want on the day. So that is Rathbone Place, guys. As I've said, it was the first ever CEX. It's a real sad state of affairs when you consider what it once was to what you see it is today. Now, please don't think I'm hating on this shop in any way, shape or forward. I'm not. It's a good place. Anyway, guys, thanks as always for watching. Please take the time to consider subscribing, and I'll see you on the next video.